Hi everyone, we welcome you all to this Week Tech Tuesday webinar on EDC Snowflake Tax Case Study. Today's speakers are Sachin Jain, who's a Principal Solutions Architect, Rashmi Prabhu, who's a Solutions Architect from CSA team. Before we start the session, let's go through some of the housekeeping tips. The webinar is for 1 hour that includes 15 minutes Q&A. You can post your queries in Q&A box which will be answered at the end of the presentation. All participants will be muted during the presentation. The session will be recorded and it will be available on our Infra Support YouTube channel and Success Portal where you will be able to download the slide deck. Please feel free to submit your suggestion or feedback for this session in the post-webinar survey. The Success Portal is a micro-learning platform that offers free, unlimited learning to all the registered users. This feature-rich platform helps you learn and adopt to Informatica products better. The following are a few important links that you can go over later. This will help you in your product adoption journey with Informatica. Over to you, Rashmi and Sachin. Thank you.
Thank you, Harshita. Hello, everyone, and welcome you all for today's session on EDC Snowflake Tag Case Study. So, agenda for today's webinar will be what are Snowflake tag and what is the main use case of this tag, and then we'll be discussing on certain use case on how a user can classify sensitive data using Snowflake tag, apply policies to these sensitive data, and then mask it. And then we'll be explaining on how a user can make use of Informatica products to solve this use case, and then we'll be explaining the entire use case through demo. Before jumping into case study, let's understand what are Snowflake tag. So if you consider data at enterprise level, it's easier to know and control the data by applying the business context such as tag. It enables the data steward to track sensitive data for compliance, discovery, and protection. Object tagging allows us to assign metadata to Snowflake object in order to categorize a group of objects or describe the type of data stored in a table or a column. A tag is nothing but a schema level object, right? So we can assign it to another Snowflake object. So consider an example, right? So this is called as tag inheritance. So tag inheritance means that if a tag is applied at a table level, then the tag is applicable to all the columns associated to that table. Now let's take one more example. So suppose if a tag is applicable at the database level, so the child elements of all those object under the database will be applicable. So this is how tag inheritance work. So this is all about the Snowflake tag. So now we'll slide into next tech about the case study on how we can identify sensitive data using Snowflake tag and protect it. So now let's consider an example where a user is tasked with keeping track of tables that have confidential data and columns with PII. He creates a centralized tag library for a consistency across the data estate, but relies on data owner to provide input about the sensitivity of the data they own. The data owners then uses tag references account usage to view to track newly tagged object and ensure that the sensitive columns have a corresponding masking policy associated to them. Then the data owner raises a change request to technical user so that he can mask the data of those critical data element. So once the data is masked by the data, once the data is masked, the data owner can publish the data outside the world without compromising on the security of the data or getting out of compliance. So now let's understand how we can achieve or how we can solve this use case using Informatica product. Since user have already associated this tag to the object at Snowflake level, so using enterprise data catalog, user can create a Snowflake resource where it will extract all the metadata belonging to that Snowflake resource, which will have the tags and its related object. So once the metadata is cataloged in EDC, then the user can onboard these critical data elements into Axon, where the data owner can enrich it with the stakeholder information, policy enforcement, etc. So now the business user who is responsible for that sensitive asset searches for all the sensitive asset using the tag value. So based on the policy which is enforced to that sensitive asset, he raises a change request so that all the sensitive element or all the sensitive asset get masked. So the technical user who is responsible for masking the data approves the change request sent by the data owner, and uses Informatica tool like IICS or CDQ, where he can apply masking rule or restrict access to the data. So once he completes the process, he marks the change request to complete, and that's how the data owner will get notification on the process completion. So now the data owner goes and updates the masking status for those critical objects in order to acknowledge other user that the sensitive data has been masked and can be published without fearing of any security concern or governance problem. So now we will dive into one by one of all these steps. In order to get tag information into the catalog, you need to create a resource in metadata. Select the conversion path as advanced database object and select the read from property as Snowflake. In object filter, select the object type in order to get all the objects associated to this type. And in the connection registry path, you can either provide schema registry path or just the path and give it a run. So once the execution gets completed, you will be able to see the tag and other related asset information in the catalog. So moving into the next slide. So here you are able to see a relationship view between the tag and the related physical asset. So on the right hand side, you are able to see there are 8 columns which got associated to it. So let's say an example, first name is a physical asset, right, which got associated with the tag called as PII data. So now the gist is, suppose if a user wants to onboard this critical data elements into Axon, how he will differentiate between the tag objects and the untagged object, since we do not have a linking between the object and the tag. So currently you are able to see there is a relationship linking between the physical assets and the tag, right? But it's only when you are launching on the tag. But suppose if you are launching on any of the physical asset, you won't be able to see the linking. As you can see in the image, there is no relationship view between the physical asset and the tag, right? In order to overcome this gap, the technical user creates a custom attribute. So using the REST API mechanism, right, he populates the custom attribute value for an object with the tag value extracted from the tag. So let's take an example. We have a PI data tag associated to first name physical asset. So we get an information called as first name belonging to that as a tag value. So using the script, we update the tag value to the custom attribute value for the technical object called as first name. So as you can see, using the script, we are populating the custom attribute value with the tag value, right? So this is how we create a bridge between the tag and the physical asset using the custom attribute value. So now technical user can list all the critical data elements in EDC using custom attribute value. He then onboards those critical data elements into Axon, creates a custom field and populates the tag value. So he's updating the tag value so that the any user who is related to it gets a broader understanding on how the journey of that object is. Then the data owner updates the critical asset with stakeholder information and policy enforcement. So once he's done updating all the necessary information, then he raises a change request to mask the critical data in order to adhere the policy. The request then goes to the technical user who is solely responsible for masking the critical data. He makes use of IICS product where he creates masking rule for the source data type. Once he has done the complete process of masking, then he marks the change request to complete. uh, the data owner then gets a notification about the process completion, and he updates the masking field to check in order to acknowledge other user that this data is ready to be consumed or ready to be delivered to the end user or any other business purposes, so without fearing on the security or the governance aspect to it. So this is all about the complete end-to-end use case. So now I'll be handing it over to Sachin, where he will be showcasing end-to-end flow for this use case and how Informatica product are used in order to build a solutioning for this use case. Handing it over to you, Sachin.
Thanks, Rashmi, for the brief introduction about how enterprise data catalog extracts Snowflake tags, and based on the steps, like how the user can take some sort of decisions, whether how to secure the data by accessing by the third party, or even within the organizations, like if the user wants to restrict the access to specific sensitive data, right? So end-to-end use cases, which we are showcasing today in our demo. Okay. So now, first of all, the Snowflake tags. So the one which I'm showcasing now is like okay. So if you could see that customer underscore tag is a table, right? And you could see the tag name for that PII underscore data, okay, and it has its values, okay. Tag in a Snowflake, it's a name, and again, it has its own values, so that uh, 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 you know here in this table level, so we have applied the tag values for each column, right? So if you could see here, these are all the column names, okay, for this customer tag table, and these are all the tag values which are associated. So it means that can consider that this could be a kind of sensitive information which is present in this customer table, okay, and the user is tagged the tag value for each column in this customer underscore tag table in the Snowflake. Okay. So now this is, the same thing. Similarly, for this demo, we have applied for another table called as employee underscore tag table. Okay, similar information will be showed there. Okay. So now, um, let's go to our enterprise data catalog. Okay, so now how enterprise data catalog extracts this tag and then metadata information from Snowflake, right? So with the help of our metadata scanner, as Rashmi showcased, so provide all the details about the Snowflake, and there is an option to even tags to extract the information, right? So once the scanner is run, okay, so now I've logged into a catalog, so I'm the user. I just wanted to look at, like, what are all the tags which are extracted, and for which tables in a Snowflake, right? So let's look at, you can search using, if you know, like, the resource name, right? SF underscore tags, right? So you can search using the resource name, or, like, you can search using the tag name also, right? So this is what the PI underscore data, okay, is a tag which I showcased in a Snowflake environment, okay, which is, this is a tag name and its values specifically, right? So if you come down, you could see the values also, right? These are all the values of this tag, and it is associated to the columns in a Snowflake table column level, actually, right? Say, you can search even using, like, the resource name, actually, right? So that is where this is one which we have extracted the Snowflake information here, right? So here in this is actually the resource, okay? Uh, there is a Snowflake resource, right? So these are all the information, the metadata informations which we have extracted, and there is a tag value also, right? There is the same tag value which we have extracted, PII underscore data, right? So if you click on here also, the same thing, you could see the PII underscore data. Okay. So now, these are all the values which we have extracted. And now it shows the relationship between the column and the tag, right? The tag values, right? Specifically. Okay. So you can see what are all the columns are associated to this tag. Okay. These are all the columns in a Snowflake table, and the tags are associated, right? Consider that these tags, like as a sensitive information which user is associated here, right? So now with this demo, we'll showcase that how a business user finds this information, and like as these are all sensitive information, how these sensitive information can be masked to restrict access to the other users, right? Or you can provide, like you can have any other security measure saying that restricting access or something like that. Okay, so in this demo we are showcasing that how to mask this information once the user finds this tag information in our Axon catalog actually, right? So now, so these are all the the columns, right? And the tags are associated, right? And you could see the even the table name as well and the column name. Okay, so this relationship we do provide like once we extract the information from the Snowflake, we do provide these relationship actually. Okay, so let's go to any one of the column actually. Okay, so here in this relationship, we don't provide the tag value actually. Okay, the similar relationship we don't see it here at the column level. Now you are seeing it actually, right? Earlier we saw this information at the tag level. Okay, now if I go to the specific column level, we don't see the relationship. That's the reason with the help of EDC Enterprise Data Catalog APIs. Okay, so I have written a sample script, okay, to extract this information and provide this information to the at the so at here actually, right? So now you could see the custom attributes actually. Okay, so there is an option that user can add extra information to the catalog, right? Enriching this asset actually, right? So you can add custom attributes and then provide your tag value here at the column level also. Okay, so now this one is done by the with the help of our sample script. Okay, so what does it do is all about from here we do extract the relationship information. Okay, that's the column information for a particular table level and even the PII data and its values actually. Okay, then after that we will be updating the custom attribute for each column level and with to the specific tag value also is associated here. So the only reason is all about it is beneficial for the user who logs into catalog and then he could see it, right? So you could see the similar information what he saw it here in the relationship as well. Okay, so that's the reason a script helps you to update this information at the catalog. Okay, so now we have this information in the catalog. Okay, so now how does it helps the business user to identify these things and then get the similar information, right? So now let's look into that actually. Okay, now we have extracted the information in Enterprise Data Catalog with the tag information from the Snowflake, correct? So now a business user, right? So he usually search at the Axon level, right? So in our Informatica Axon tool, and with seamless integration with our Enterprise Data Catalog, so we automatically onboard the asset information which we have extracted from the Snowflake in Enterprise Data Catalog to Axon actually with the help of sample onboarding rules. Okay, so now a user has to do this a simple configuration to bring this information into Axon, and then he has to enrich the information in the Axon. Okay, so I'll show you what enrichments we have done it actually. Okay, let me log in to the Axon. Okay. So if a business user looks into to the Axon, right? So this is where I mean the dashboards are available. You can create a sample widget for the even for the tag information, and then you can add it here. So let's go and then just search the tag name actually. Okay. So now we have onboarded the specific table information, table level as well as the column, and the tags are updated with the help of custom attributes. Okay. Now everything is ready. Say now the business user will search for the tag name which he is looking at it actually. Okay, this is the custom tag which we have already added. Okay, so now you could see these are all the table level information. Okay, and you could see even the tag values also. These are all custom attribute actually. Okay, after onboarding information into Axon, we have enriched these information with the help of custom attribute. And there is a system, right? So this is a Snowflake system, and inside that you have tables, and then you have even the column. That is what we call it as attribute information here, and even you could see the tag values for each attribute it is associated to, right? So now you could see the system as well as the table level information and also these attribute informations. These informations we automatically onboarded from enterprise data catalog to here. Okay, how did we onboard actually? Okay, let's go to the system level. I'll just open this one. Okay. Enterprise data catalog. So once we do the integration between EDC to Axon, and user has to create a simple system, and then he will link that system to the enterprise data catalog resource. Okay, that these things will be done in Axon itself. And there's a sample rule. Okay, data onboarding rule. Okay, so we are extracting these two information because we know these two information where the tags are associated to here, and these informations are available to the business users now, right? So with the help of this rule, we are onboarding the information into the Axon, right? So that's how we automatically onboard the the asset information from enterprise data catalog to here, and after that, we have enriched with the help of custom attributes with these tag values, right? That is what we saw this one actually. Now, say here a user, right? The business user, he will look into here, and then even the attribute information, the tag values and all, and the mainly you could see what are all the policies have been applied on that, right? So these policies, or at the organization level, say these are all the sensitive informations which we have, and we should have some sort of certain policies to be applied on that, right? Say these are all personal identifier attributes, and restricted data policies are the two policies which are applied on this one. Now, with the help of this, right, he will raise a change request for this, to the respective user. Okay. So now he will look at it here at the table level, data set level, and he could see even the policies applied on that, right? That is what we have seen it in Unison Search. We could get entire information there itself, right? So now, with the help of the change request, right, uh, apply restricted / or even mask the data. Okay. Okay, so this is how he is raising a change request, and now it will go to the respective user actually. Okay. Now, and this guy, the one who logged in, and he is the approver also. Okay. So now we are going to select a workflow, and then we will start, and the request will come to here also because he is the one of the approver also, right? So he got the information. Say now we will say approve. For this demo purpose, I have added this guy as an approver. Okay. and this is the sample workflow, and he will say, complete this task. Okay, now you could see from approval, it is with the owner now. Okay. Okay. And a notification will be sent over the email to the respective person. Okay. And also notification will be there in the Axon also. Okay. So now what I'll do is I will log out now, and then I'll log in as a owner, which I have to take some sort of steps, right? So is join at okay, so that the request has come to me, and I've logged in, and I could see there's a request also, right? So this is how even in the Axon also we do have notifications also, right? So he will get the information, okay, and now he has to do some sort of either restrict or mask the data, right? That is what, and then he will provide some information what needs to be done on that. Fine. And with the help of this associated information and all, with the help of our ISCS, a data integration tool, okay, and you can use even Informatica data quality tool also, with a simple rule, okay, so you can mask actual data, right? This is the source information. This is actually a rule which is already built, okay, and I will show you the source information, right? So customer underscore tag with the Snowflake actually, right? So once you run this rule, right? So the sensitive informations or like an actual data will be masked actually. Okay, so consider that we have run this rule. Okay, so let's go to the Snowflake. Okay, okay, so now this is our customer underscore tag. Okay, so now you could see the actual data is masked here. Okay, so that's how once he is able to confirm that the information is masked, okay, now he will go back to the axon, and then he will say command completed, right? And then he will say completed the task. Okay, let me log in as the previous user itself. Okay, and then I'll show you what other information needs to be added once the user is masked actually. Okay, so now the similar information which we are going to look at it here, filter, and then as I mentioned, it's a custom attribute which is available here. Let's go to here, and you could see this information, and at the attribute information, okay, these are all the information. Now as a user, just add one more attribute, and it is masked. Okay, and you will have these informations also available to the user. Okay, now if a user logs in and then look at the information, okay, these are all the informations we do have, and then it tagged with some of the tag values have been applied to this column level information. And if a user is searching for this information, and if he wants to understand whether it is masked or not, right? So how do we restrict this information in our actual Snowflake database level, right? So that's how once we extract the information from the catalog, specifically from the Snowflake with the tag information, and now the business user, by looking at these information, he raised a change request, and then he applied a specific policy on that, and now he makes sure that it is protected actually. right? So this is what in our case study today, which we thought of like showcasing end to end a demo of how do we extract and then how the business user will take the decision to mask the actual data and then he restrict it actually, right? Thank you.
Hi all, we have reached the Q&A part. Please post your questions. Go on, Sachin.
Yeah, thanks, Ashita. So yeah, this is Sachin here. There was a question actually. So how the tags came into Axon and showed in the column for the attributes, right? So basically, the flow is all about when we extract the Snowflake tags in Enterprise Data Catalog, right? So we automatically onboard data sets, that is the table information, as well as the attributes from Enterprise Data Catalog to Axon, right? Then, with the help of either the scripts for the automation purpose, so you can create some sort of custom attribute to create those tags in Axon level actually. Okay, since we don't bring any other information from Enterprise Data Catalog to Axon, so these information with the help of a kind of API, so that you can add custom attributes at the Axon level, so that user will get to know what tags are available for this Snowflake tab tables, right? So that is a data set, right? Then after that, so once the tags are available, the business user will take the decision whether to based on the policy, whether to mask it or restrict access or any other decision he could take it actually. Okay, that's the end goal of the entire demo, so that Axon plays a vital role for the business user to take any sort of decision, and then he could see, and even with the help of again another custom attribute, so that you can update whether it is masked or not, right? So tomorrow, if any new business user logged in and then he could see the entire picture of whether it is masked or not in Axon itself, right? There's an audit report, everything is available in the Axon itself, so that he could see entire stuff. Yeah, I hope that answered your question, Alison. Yeah. So there was one question. What if they aren't clear tags set up in our Snowflake? Is it something we can do on the Informatica tool and with a cross-reference document such as classification type document? I think we need to have some more information. If they aren't clear tags set up in our Snowflake, is it something we can do on the Informatica tool and with a cross-reference document such as a classification type document? So Jai, Nalva, so are you looking at just to get some more information about the question you asked actually? Okay, so are you looking at the tags information in the Snowflake that has to be cross-linked with the Informatica tools as a kind of reference document to attach it? Is that the question you are asking? Could you please a little bit clarify the question? Yeah. And there was one more question. What were you doing with Python? Yeah. So even in Enterprise Data Catalog, when we extract Snowflake tags, right? So Snowflake tag provides a relationship between the physical assets, okay, so that user can see it actually. So what are all attributes the tag is associated to. But when you go to the actual physical attribute level in Enterprise Data Catalog, the same relationship is not available. So that to help the user, what we have added kind of enrichment is all about. Again, we have created a custom attribute and with the help of APIs in Enterprise Data Catalog and with the help of Python script, we get those information from the relationship which is already extracted, and then we add those information into a custom attribute of the physical attribute. Okay, so that's where the Python script was doing, updating or enriching the information which is already there, so that it will be easily available to the users actually. Okay, that was the Python which was doing, which I was showcased actually. Okay, and there was one more question: is the Snowflake tag, mask, labeler, and additional paid add-on for EDC? Okay, so I mean, if the question is all about how did we mask this one into a Snowflake table level, so this is done with the help of our ISCS data integration tool, right? So that you can do it in any of the tools. I would leave it to you guys to have this, how to do the masking or restricting access point of view. But with the help of Informatica, right? So you can do it using the Informatica data quality or the ISCS, which is on cloud. Yeah, so labeler was used to mask the data to showcase how can we mask the data, actual data, right? So when a user look at the axon and he could see the information about what are the tags has been applied with the policy results also. So based on that, he will apply this masking technology, right? So that's one, with the help of change request, it will go to the technical user to mask the data, right? So that was the showcase with the help of our IACS. With the help of the rule, we mask the actual data which is present in Snowflake, okay? And once that is done, he will update the change request so that the same custom attribute saying that whether it is masked or not in the Axon, so that we do update. This can be done using even the script also with the help of Axon APIs, so that you can update those information as masked, so that if the user can see it, whether it is masked or not, right? So that's how you can do it, okay? And additional paid is the Snowflake. It's actually Snowflake tags that can be extracted through our metadata scanner. Okay, so that's the external one actually. Yeah. Fine. Any other questions?
I think
Let me know
have one question.
because yeah, Arshida.
We have one more question from Jay.
Yeah, I think that is answered. There was one more question. Okay. I was wondering if our Snowflake environment is not mature enough with the tags, can we use a reference document ourselves to tag the data after ingesting the lineage from Snowflake into EDC and eventually view in Axon? Oh, okay, got it. So what if the tags are not available at the Snowflake environment? Okay. See, what you can do is if Snowflake environment doesn't have the tag information, so that our enterprise data catalog itself has a feature called as classification. Okay, so you can use data domains to tag those sensitive information, at the column level itself, right? So based on that, again, you can follow the same procedure. So bring those information into Axon and then do the rest of the work actually, right? Even that works actually, okay? You can make use of our data domains for the classification of the data, okay? Great, Jay, thank you again for the demo, appreciate it. Yeah, thanks a lot, Jay. And I would like to apologize because of sound clarity, but yeah, please post any questions, so I'm here to answer to you guys. And so yeah, thanks a lot. Any questions? Any other information I can get on data domain, or is knowledge base the best place? Definitely, Jay. So even we do have the docs, and also even knowledge base has most of the information about data domains. What are those data domains, right? And how do we classify the the metadata which is available in the enterprise data catalog based on the data domains, right? So that is where we call it as a classification of the data, right? So based on that information, a user can take some sort of decisions, and then he will get to know what this metadata is all about. Okay. So definitely, please go through the knowledge base as well as our docs. And if you still need any information, please reach out to our Informatica team. Yeah. Any questions with respect to today's demo? There was one question. Could you please provide EDC and Axon REST API call you used in this case study? Definitely. So probably once we are done with our session today, so hopefully by tomorrow you will be getting the entire deck as well as the script information, what are the APIs being used in that, and any reference information. So probably we will add it, and then it is available for you guys actually. Yeah. Thank you, Ray. Yeah. Any other questions to demo or Snowflake tag case study? Any other questions? Any last questions? Okay, so Ashita.
Yes, Sachin. So we will wrap up. Thank you, as usual, for this amazing session, Rashmi and Sachin. That we will end today's webinar. Thank you all for attending.
Thank you.